Sausage.
Hello everyone, this is Attack the Backlog, the podcast where I, Marc, tries to make a dent in their backlog one game at a time. This episode is all about Call of Duty Warzone, Activision's second and free-to-play stab at the Battle Royale genre. Their first attempt came in the form of Blackout, which was an okay premium-priced Battle Royale mode that was part of Black Ops 4 and, for all intents and purposes, took the place of the non-existent single-player campaign, making Black Ops 4 the only Call of Duty to not have any kind of single-player campaign. It was a gamble, and a gamble that didn't succeed. Every Call of Duty since has, once again, had a single-player campaign, and Warzone launched on its own for free and was immediately successful. Call of Duty Warzone originally came out on March 10th, 2020 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I don't know why I find this surprising, but at least at the time of this recording, no Switch version exists or is seemingly in the works. I guess they, maybe smartly, don't want to put out such a lesser experience like what Respawn and EA did with Apex Legends, though they haven't put any Call of Duty game on the Switch, so maybe they just don't want to bother with the significantly underpowered device. Anywho, let's get on with this here review. This is kind of a weird pick. Weird because it's a free-to-play game, so how can it be in my backlog when I don't actually own it? What's my excuse? Ownership doesn't really matter. Though I will never play a game I only own as part of PlayStation Plus, games with gold or the like, or Attack the Backlog, so I'm already being a big fat hypocrite. The reality is, there are no rules and I can do what I want. All that said, I decided to finally give Warzone a proper go because I adored Apex Legends, and after retiring from Apex over a year ago, spoilers, I'm back into Apex, man, I am so back into Apex. I've been itching for a new Battle Royale game in my life and ended with two choices: PUBG or Warzone. I know many other games exist, I've played quite a few, shout out to Realm Royale for being not terrible, but these are the two ones I've always been the most interested in. While I think I would enjoy PUBG more, I went with Warzone because I wanted to see what a super polished Battle Royale game was like, and I was not disappointed. Warzone is incredibly polished and overall a good time. However, there are some weird design choices that leave me puzzled and still confused weeks after I stopped playing. For the record, I played about 8 hours of Warzone, mostly solo, and all of it on an Xbox Series X. At its core, Warzone feels like a middle ground between Apex and PUBG. It's not as fast and frantic as something like Apex, but it's also not as tense and methodical as something like PUBG. It falls somewhere in between and, in doing so, justifies its existence, though having a well-made Battle Royale game that plays like Call of Duty and doesn't cost $60 was more than enough justification on its own and exactly what Activision should have done all along. But Warzone doesn't rely solely on its Call of Duty lineage. It does add a few elements that spice things up and give it an identity of its own. The most obvious spice is the Gulag, a prison you're sent to after dying the first time with the chance to return to the game if you win a one-on-one battle against a fellow fallen combatant. The Gulag means death isn't the end, well, at least not your first death, unless your first death comes after the 4th round, and this little addition goes a long way in making the overall Warzone experience feel unique and is also a big part of what differentiates Warzone from other Battle Royale games. The thing about Warzone that's different from other Battle Royale games I've played is it wants you to survive as long as possible and will give you many ways to do that. In addition to the Gulag, you can purchase self-revive kits from one of the many stores scattered throughout the world, and if playing in squads, you can purchase redeployment tokens if your KIA teammate wasn't so lucky in the Gulag. Warzone wants you to always be in the action because that's what Call of Duty does best, and it's when you get in firefights that you're reminded of just how different Call of Duty and PUBG are. Spoilers, Call of Duty feels significantly better as a shooter. That said, I do think Apex feels better than either game, and every other shooter for that matter, but that's more of a playstyle thing than anything else. Like Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast, and no Battle Royale game lets me do that better than Apex. Warzone also streamlines inventory management by having a very basic in-game pop-up that allows you to quickly manage what little inventory there is while not taking yourself completely out of the action. This is a massive improvement over other games which require you to bring up a menu that covers the entire screen, leaving you vulnerable to attacks the whole time. It was confusing at first because I kept trying to figure out how to access my entire inventory, but once I realized Warzone doesn't want you to worry about stuff like that, I quickly appreciated the simplicity of it. Unlike other Battle Royale games, there is no encumbrance or inventory limit to worry about in regards to how many different types of items you can hold. You can carry all the shit you want, whatever its max capacity is. Don't have a rocket launcher but see rockets all over the place? Might as well pick them up just in case, because unlike other games, my precious Apex included, they won't be taking up the space of something else, like that of ammo for a weapon you are currently using. This is just another way in which Warzone does what it can to keep you in the game and not buried in menus or the like, helping Warzone be one of the most accessible Battle Royale games out there. But Warzone isn't all sunshine and roses. There are weird design choices that make no sense and still have me wondering why such decisions were made. First and foremost, most of the guns do not show their firing rate or allow you to change said firing rate. There are exceptions, but the fact that not every weapon at the very least shows you if it's a single fire, burst fire, or automatic is crazy. Sure, I understand not allowing one to change the firing rate for every gun because not every gun has multiple firing modes, but at least let me know what the firing rate for every gun is, because when you're starting out and don't know the guns well, it's easy to die in a firefight because you held the trigger expecting your gun to be an automatic when it's only a burst fire gun. I'm not saying this happened to me multiple times, but it happened to me multiple times. The next one is a nitpick, but I hate that you can't holster your gun in order to run faster. Instead, your run speed is based on what kind of gun you're holding. If you're holding a shotgun, you'll run slower than if you're holding a pistol, and so on and so forth. This isn't an objectively bad design choice, but one I would have preferred be handled differently, though it's most likely because you can holster your gun in Apex and it's impossible for me not to judge every little detail of every Battle Royale game against Apex. Even when I'm out, I'm still in. Except like I said earlier, I am 100% back in Apex, baby. I'm so into it. And that's kind of it, complaint-wise. Call of Duty Warzone is an incredibly well-made, streamlined experience that's a lot of fun to play, whether soloing or with a group. You don't have to worry about different armor levels, health packs, or a lot of the other little things that slow down the experience. Instead, you just have to worry about what guns you have, that you have enough ammo, and that you're carrying some armor plates to replenish your armor when it's damaged. It's about as simple as a Battle Royale game can get, so much so that, while he may not have had any chicken dinners or whatever Warzone calls winning, my dad still understood everything going on in the game and never felt overwhelmed. That alone says a lot, like a lot. The only problem for me is I just prefer the way Apex feels. If I'm not playing Apex, I want something more different than Warzone, which feels close enough to Apex without being Apex that I lost interest after putting in my initial 8 hours. I've come back to the game here and there since putting those 8 hours into the game, but only a smidgen and only here and there. Apex is a game I devoured daily for over a year, and Warzone failed to hook me the way Apex did. But that's a me problem and not a Warzone problem. If Warzone looks and sounds even remotely interesting to you, check it out. With absolutely no barrier to entrance, it's an easy recommendation, and even if there was a premium price tag attached, I'd still say it's worth checking out. But that's it for this here review. I guess it's time I gave PUBG a proper shake next. Anyway, that will do it for this here episode of Attack the Backlog. Once again, I am Marc. Y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PXSausage. The site is, of course, pixelatedsausage.com, where you can find this podcast and the Pixelated Sausage podcast, both of which are available on podcast services across the globe. If you'd like to see me playing the games I talk about here on Attack the Backlog, you can check me out over at twitch.tv/PXSausage. And of course, if you are watching the video version of this here episode, and if you're not, you should definitely do that. And by doing that, you would have to go over to youtube.com/pixelatedsausage. Follow, subscribe, all that jazz. But I do highly recommend checking out my videos over on YouTube. And if you'd like to check out the art I make, please go back to the site pixelatedsausage.com, and if you see something you like, you can purchase a print of the piece you fancy. And if you fancy the site in general and anything that we do, please go over to patreon.com/pxs and support us that way. As always, Thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.